update and discussion regarding the coronavirus pandemic. We're facing a crisis unlike anything we have ever faced in our lifetime. I'd like to reassure you that I and our town manager, Keith, are in constant contact with the governor's office, and we're monitoring all the recommendations from the CDC and the Arizona Department of Health Services on the ways that we can protect ourselves against the COVID-19 virus. I commend all the local businesses in our community who have taken the necessary steps to both stay in business and protect the citizens. I know this is very hard for them, and so I really encourage all of us to remember these folks right now. Patronize them when you can. They're the first ones that we call and ask for help whenever we've got a fundraiser or a need in our community. And so we've got to remember that they are the backbone of our community. I would also encourage you to check on your neighbors. Sometimes we don't want face-to-face contact, but give them a call or just take them a meal and leave it on their porch and let them know. This is the time that we all need to come together and take care of everybody. And I'd also like to thank our grocery stores and all their staff for being there for us. And I would encourage you to be measured in your purchases. And I think we have some updates that our town manager is going to give you tonight. And then we will have an opportunity for you to ask questions, and Tony Alba will be reading those to us. So, Keith.
Thank you, Mayor Irwin. As Mayor Irwin did indicate that we are facing a crisis in our world, unlike any other that we've had to face in the past. The town of Pinetop-Lakeside will continue to provide updates on a daily basis. You can receive those updates through our Talk of the Town newsletter and our Town of Pinetop-Lakeside Facebook page. So if you do not receive the newsletter, please contact Tony Alba at talba, that's T-A-L-B-A, at pinetoplakesideaz.com, and we'll put you on our newsletter list. And encourage you to share that information with your neighbors. Now, one of the things that we are following are the CDC and the Arizona Department of Health Services, their guidelines that we provide that we have accepted in our community. So the town council accepted and approved a proclamation of emergency declaration on Wednesday night. The long and the short of what that proclamation has is it gives emergency declaration that allows the town to access assistance from the federal, state, and county governments if needed. It gives authority to the mayor and the town manager to quickly take action deemed in the best interest of the town and its citizens to protect and preserve their safety and well-being. It also suspends procurement rules if necessary, allows us to access services from companies quickly. It also allows the town to implement closures of certain public buildings. So as you may have noted, that the library and the visitor center are both closed at this time until further notice. But visitor information is still available outside the town hall and the kiosk in front. Let's see, there's a new announcement that I'd like to share with you. It came from Governor Doug Ducey's Facebook page. He has issued some additional executive orders. He is to ensure that Arizonans have continued access to food. He said, I'm activating the National Guard to assist grocery stores and food banks in the face of heightened demand. This will ensure grocery stores have the manpower needed to keep shelves stocked. That emergency order executive order came from the request of numerous communities throughout the state that their stores are not getting the food that they need to be able to sell to the public. Every morning, I would ask the council to mute their phones, to remember to mute their phones. We're getting their background noise. So in this phone conference we had this morning, several towns brought that up, that they were having difficulty, and so the governor's activating the National Guard. This is another one that will affect our community, because through the emergency proclamation that we just passed, there will now be some changes for restaurants and bars. He said, I'm issuing an executive order that requires restaurants in counties with confirmed cases of COVID-19 to provide dine-out options only, and closes bars, movie theaters, and gyms. Restaurants will be allowed to deliver alcoholic beverages with food purchase. That was again a concern that was brought up in the phone conference between the governor's office and the mayors of the state, that in counties where some cities have confirmed cases, that there are other cities that have different rules than, say, for example, Tucson, or was it Phoenix, I believe? They had more stricter requirements for their businesses. But you could go to Scottsdale or Tempe or others, and they did not have the same rules. So now Navajo County does have 3 confirmed cases, not in this area. They're up in the northern part of our county on the Navajo Nation. And because of that, this restriction will come to our movie theater, the local gyms, and the restaurants and bars. So we will be contacting restaurants and bars tomorrow, quickest by phone, unless we have their email. Well, but we'll do it by phone, to get that information to them. In addition, to let you know that the town council meetings will continue to be closed to the public, but we will live stream them on our Facebook page. I do want to thank Tony Alba and Annie DeRozier for making the effort on Wednesday to reach all of the restaurants and bars in our community. They went door to door and let them know, because there was a lot of misinformation and rumors that the town was going to be shutting them down completely. And they went out door to door, met with restaurant managers and owners to let them know that they have our support, and that at that time we were not instituting stricter guidelines. And as Mayor Irwin mentioned, we ask you to remember our local businesses, our restaurants. They need our patronage. They are small businesses, and they need us to come. They have supported so many nonprofit organizations and sports teams and others, and we need to step up and help them. I encourage you, if you have any questions, rather than come to Town Hall, our Town Hall is still open, and the public, it can still access us. But we ask you instead to make phone calls. Call us, email us. We will return your call if you go to voicemail as quickly as possible. We want to limit the exposure of our employees so that we can keep them healthy, so that they can continue to provide essential and emergency services within our community. We are supporting and promoting President Trump's plan, the 15 days to slow the spread. Until the federal government or the state government puts further lockdowns on the country, we're following the CDC's guidelines, and this is also adopted by the Arizona Department of Health, of the things that we can do as individuals and businesses to slow the spread. This is a 15-day program that started a few days ago. There's also information, and you can get this flyer on our Facebook page and also on our town website. And then there's also information on there about how to slow or stop. We don't want to just slow it. We want to stop the spread of germs. We are the ones that will be able to help to stop this. Wash your hands. Cover your mouth with a disposable tissue if you have to cough or sneeze. Throw that away. Disinfect your hands. If you are sick, if you have a cough, a fever, shortness of breath, You need to contact your doctor and so that you can arrange for a test, but don't go to work. This, people are spreading this because they are maybe unknowingly infecting people around them within their family and in their workplaces and in the community. So please, let's all do this smart and we can stop this. And that is all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Keith. Tony, do we have any questions?
Yes, Mayor. If anyone is watching the live stream, again, I want to remind you we need your name and your full address for the record. We have one question so far that I believe has been answered, but I will read it for the record anyway, from Tyrell Wilbank of Hush Bakehouse, 1684 East White Mountain Boulevard in Pinetop. Governor Ducey just announced 45 minutes ago that any county in Arizona that has confirmed COVID-19 cases must close all non-essential businesses and bars, and that all restaurants must go to takeout or curbside delivery or curbside service only, no dining. Will the town be following this order?
Thank you for your question. Absolutely, we will be following the governor's executive order. And we are going to make sure all our businesses comply with that. I'm sure that's going to be voluntary, not a problem for them. It's an unfortunate situation, but absolutely, we will be following that.
And I would like to also add to that, one of the things that we found is Tony and Annie went around to the businesses. They were already voluntarily complying with these rules and guidelines. And I'm sure that they are all understand and realize what has just been announced, and they will already have started implementing those. So we want to thank them for doing that.
Tony, are there any more?
Well, someone has entered an address, but not a question yet, so there may be one coming.
Okay. I've also gotten information, and you guys can research this yourselves, on some steps that the federal government is going to be taking to help both our citizens who are out of work and our businesses who may have sick employees. So I would encourage you to look on the IRS website and other websites to see what those kind of measures are going to be. We're not prepared to offer any advice on those because there's information out there, but there really aren't any implementation rules yet. So I would suggest that you keep your eye on that. I think there will be some resources, especially increasing in the coming days, that are going to help people out. And we just have to do this all together. Tony, did that one come through again?
One moment, please. It is from Deanne Carbajal Hostetler, 1684 East White Mountain Boulevard. And the question is a clothing boutique considered non-essential?
Keith, you've got that right in front of you, what the governor said. I didn't hear it say non-essential, I heard it say restaurants and bars.
Yes, it does not, I believe I would, my interpretation. I'll read it again and I'll give you my interpretation to that question. He said, I'm issuing an executive order that requires restaurants in counties with confirmed cases of COVID-19 to provide dine-out options only and closes bars, movie theaters, and gyms. Restaurants will be allowed to deliver alcoholic beverages with food purchase. I have not seen anything that relating to retail outlet stores. I would suggest that as the proprietors that you keep your customers observing the social distancing rules of keeping 6 feet apart. So that, because that is, if someone is coughs or sneezes without covering, then droplets can go that far. And that's what they're trying to prevent. But there are no restrictions at this time with retail sales outlets for clothing or anything, any gear, any of that type of stuff.
Thank you, Keith. That's the way I heard it as well. So I think if you choose to stay open, as Keith said, just be very, very cautious, and we will make it through this. Is there anything else?
I have asked for
I have a question.
I've asked for additional questions, and I have none yet. So go ahead.
Okay, all right. Councilor Hastings?
Yes, I wanted to ask if Safeway has announced that they're going to have special hours for seniors to shop as they have in the Phoenix area with Bashes. They're offering an early morning shopping time.
Maisie, or Councilor Hastings, I'm sorry, I have not heard of any of those hours as of yet, but I would encourage you to give them a call and keep your eye out on other methods of getting that information.
Thank you, I believe that.
Yes. I'm sorry?
Stephanie,
Yes, go ahead.
Mayor,
That's okay.
I have been out to the stores and there is not a problem that they need to implement what they're doing down the valley.
Okay, thank you for that. I imagine because there are fewer people here, we may have a little bit more latitude on those hours, and of course that's up to Safeway. If we find out anything, maybe we can get that information out, so. Okay.
I'm asking for the seniors, yes.
Of course, thank you. Any other questions from the council? Tony, you have another one?
Yes, again from Tyrell Bank. Dine out options. Will someone be able to walk in and pick up at the counter, or will it be curbside walk out only?
I'm going to let Keith look at that proclamation one more time.
Okay, now I'm getting this off of Governor Doug Ducey's Facebook page, and so if you have Facebook, then I would suggest that you look at it also for anything else. I've only read 2 of the items on here as they pertain to us. It is saying that they provide dine-out options only. That's all they're saying. It doesn't say that they can't walk in and pick it up. It doesn't say that you have to meet them at the curb. I think that the guidelines that we had gotten before said they preferred curbside pickup options, and I know that the Hush Bakehouse has been taking things out to their customers. So there is nothing in this. I'm not reading the exact executive order, just what the governor has posted on his Facebook page.
Tyrell, I think it would probably be best if you would err on the side of caution wherever possible, and perhaps just take it outside of your establishment to the curbside and meet your customers out there if it's possible, and see if that won't work. And we'll kind of look further for guidance from the governor on that one. Any other questions, comments?
Mayor,
Yes.
Mayor Rubin, this is Lynn Creekbaum.
Yes, go ahead.
I went to Red Devil today to get carry out for lunch, and I had to go in to get it and give them my credit card, because that's where it would mean that somebody would have to come out, go take your credit card in and run it and then come back out and all of that. So I would think it'd be easier if we could just be careful about doing it, even when you would give them cash, they're going to have to make change probably, so it'd be several trips in and out. So unless they have the little square thing that they come outside with, I don't know. But anyway, I would think that might be a little bit of a problem.
Well, I think that
I think we just need to be careful.
Yeah, thank you for your comments, Councilor Krigbaum, and I think we can wait for a little bit more detailed guidance from the governor's office, and I'm sure that the restaurants will use the best practices that they possibly can to protect both the restaurants' owners and their employees as well as the citizens. So I'm sure that we're all going to do the best we can on that one. Is that it, Tony?
That's the last question. There was a message here from Julie at the Pinetop-Lakeside Chamber indicating that Safeway has 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. for seniors.
Define the senior.
Oh, thank you.
Did you define the senior age level?
She did not define that. I've been told it's 55, but I don't know that to be 100% accurate.
Is that so it'll cover you?
So you bet.
Well, I do know when
Daytime is 55, so.
Well, I know when they have their senior discount, it is 55, so we'll hope that's right, Tony.
Yeah.
Then we could go into more.
And the time again is? Can you give me the time again, please?
Yes,
so I can
6 a.m.
enter some
to
questions?
6 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Every day, right?
Yes,
Not a particular.
yes.
Thank you very much.
Sure. Okay. If there's nothing else, I appreciate everybody bearing with us tonight on this new way of conducting our council meetings. This is the best thing that we can come up with to make sure that the public is aware of what's going on and that we can keep our staff and all of our council safe. So anyway, I wish everybody well. Please be careful, please be safe, and check on your neighbors.
Mayor.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tony Alba.
One last thing, we have a comment from one of our town employees that says the senior days are Tuesday and Thursday from 6 to 9.
Thank you. Did you hear that, Councilor Hastings? Just Tuesday?
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay,
Yes, I'll let this news go out. Thank you.
okay, thank you. Then if there is no further business tonight, we will adjourn this meeting.